Well, hello and welcome to this Facebook live stream coming to you live from the reading room here at the Alex Building, the University of Wales, Trinity St David. Today's broadcast is brought to you courtesy of Di Griff Productions. Di Griffiths is a third-year student studying music technology at the University of Wales, Trinity St David. His website is available to look at online. He's in charge of all the technology. I'm in charge of the music. Somebody there called out my name, turning my scream into a whisper. And you took my hand and you led me home. You said I'd never be alone. What am I really doing here? Where am I gonna find an answer? 'Cause the darkness just keeps rolling in, and I just don't know where to begin. So I just breathe, say your name as I breathe in, call for the comforter to come, to hold me up and make me strong. And I just breathe, say your name as I breathe out, talk about you in my sleep. Well, I'm asking you, my soul to keep. And I just breathe. Maybe the message wasn't clear, maybe I wasn't really listening, but inside I know I wasn't wrong. But it's just so hard to keep on going, so I just breathe, say your name as I breathe in, call for the comforter to come, to hold me up and make me strong. And I just breathe, say your name as I breathe out, talk about you in my sleep. Well, I'm asking you, my soul to keep. And I just breathe. Ooh, ooh. Many times I would run away, given half the chance. Somebody said you would open the doors. I'm just praying it'll happen quickly, as the Furies fight to steal my peace. I'm just praying for that sweet release, so I just breathe, say your name as I breathe out, talk about you in my sleep. Well, I'm asking you, my soul to keep. I just breathe, I just breathe. So I'm currently on tour. This week on Friday I'll be at the Furnace Theatre in Llanelli, and on Saturday night at the Grand Theatre in Swansea. It's been a good tour so far. Started off the Wales Millennium Centre, then on to Ammanford Miners. Been a lot of fun. Now, they do say that a fool learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others. Let me tell you, I've been a fool too long. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. If I'd known, I wouldn't have made the same mistakes again and again. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. Sometimes you need to bend, but it doesn't mean giving up ground. There are people we love that we take for granted that won't always be around. You better learn how to love, 'cause if you don't, you will go into cry. Some things in life just never work out. It really doesn't matter how hard you try. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. If I'd known, I wouldn't have made the same mistakes again and again. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. Forbidden fruits aren't always sweet, no matter how green looks the grass. Life has many seasons, but you gotta know this too shall pass. In the morning the sun will always rise, no matter how dark is the night. That it's better to be taken for a silent fool than to open your mouth and prove the whole world right. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. If I'd known, I wouldn't have made the same mistakes again and again. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. Not all the old folk have the wisdom, but youth is wasted on the young. At the end of the day, you'll find it's always the way. More is ever said than ever really done. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. If I'd known, I wouldn't have made the same mistakes again and again. These are some of the things I wish that I'd known back then. Back then. Back then. Thank you very much. So I'm on this tour and it's called An Evening with Mal Pope. Well, this is an afternoon with Mal Pope, isn't it? And I'm looking back at some of the songs I've written over the last, it pains me to say the last almost 50 years. Started writing songs when I was about 7 years old, and I haven't stopped yet. It's great to be here with Dai Griff this afternoon. He's at the start of his journey. Interesting family connection. His dad Andrew came to me on work experience when he was still in school as well. Can't wait for the grandchildren to turn up. So I was born in a place called Bryn Hyfryd in Swansea. It's just up the road from here. It was right at the heart of the Industrial Revolution. That was Swansea in the 1700s and the 1800s with the coal and the copper. The view from my parents' bedroom was of Kilvey Hill. In the 60s, when I was growing up, it was completely destroyed. But now if you look at it, well, sometimes you could be mistaken for thinking that it's Switzerland. My grandmother's house is where I was born, in Penvillier Terrace in Swansea. My grandmother was 4 foot tall and 5 foot wide and played the pump harmonium in our little gospel hall. Her name was Mavanwi. She'd lived through 2 world wars and the economic depression of the 30s, and still, she would always talk about the good old days. Life's all about perspective, isn't it? I see the buildings clutter in the skyline, built by miners on a pittance of pay. They work together, never on a Sunday. That was not their way. Now Zoa's empty, Bethel's boarded up, new silos silent TV every day. Except for Tuesdays, the sisters gather, 4 ladies meet to pray. Talk about the golden days. Tell me, doesn't the sun still shine? Tell me, isn't the air still free? And these are golden days, if we still believe. Now, my dad's name is Stan. He's 95 years old. He's not as well as he used to be. I mean, in the old days, he could talk for Wales. He was a preacher. I am literally the son of a preacher man. He used to tell me stories of growing up in a place called Pontrhydyfen, the birthplace of Richard Burton and Ivor Emanuel and my dad, Stan Pope. And his father used to work down in Britain Ferry at Lipton's. He was a bacon hand. And as he told me his stories, it didn't seem that much different to the stories I was going through at the time myself. Talked to an old man about his father, waited with his mother for him every day. He worked at Lipton's on the bacon counter, but days just fade away. I think about my own kids waiting for me as I come home at the end of the day. They're smiling faces, nobody's told them what all the papers say. Where are the golden days? Tell me, doesn't the sun still shine? Tell me, isn't the air still free? And these are golden days, if we still believe. So with all the news at the moment, it's hard to keep your chin up. But one day we'll look back at these days and think, hey, they weren't so bad after all. So travel onwards with your journey, but just remember, keep your eyes on the sky. When they tell you, don't you believe them? It's never do or die. These can be golden days. Tell me, doesn't the sun still shine? Tell me, isn't the air still free? Tell me, isn't the world still mine? Just like it used to be. And these are golden days, if we still believe. I've written quite a lot of different sort of musicals in my time as a musician. And one of them is called The Cappuccino Girls. I'll just get a black drum here. Wait a second. It's a story about three girls from the Mumbles who used to meet every day. And as they used to talk, they unburdened themselves. They found someone to listen to. And the thing was, even though their lives looked perfect on the outside, well, maybe behind it, it wasn't quite so perfect after all. Hey, yeah, let's hear it for the Cappuccino Girls. Girl one is a picture-perfect wife. Credit cards, manicures, a picture-perfect life. She drives a sports car, given as a present when the baby came. She's bored to tears, so she reaches for the sherry. Wastes an hour watching Jerry Springer on the telly. Cries as she thinks another 20 years of this, she's gonna go insane. Hey, yeah, let's hear it for the Cappuccino Girls. Talking way too loud, laughing with each other, like the days before they were just someone else's mother. Hey, you're looking good, you Cappuccino Girls. Holding on together, hoping everybody survives. Just like desperate housewives. Girl two thinks her life's become a mess. She feels a failure whilst her husband's a success. Shelved her career plans, concentrating now on the children's lives. He's never home, she's convinced herself she knows that someone else's perfume she can smell upon his clothes. She pretends she's fast asleep as she hears his car pull into the drive. Hey, yeah, let's hear it for the Cappuccino Girls. Holding on together, hoping everybody survives. just like desperate housewives. Volvo cars and soccer Sundays, birthday parties and a term place, making cakes for the PTA you know you'll simply throw away. Shattered dreams and endless no-shows, he makes excuses, he sends a red rose. Next time he says it will be different, who's he kidding? Everybody knows. Hey, yeah, let's hear it for the cappuccino girls. Make the coffee last, putting off the chores, laughing at the antics that go on behind closed doors. Hey, yeah, you're looking good, you cappuccino girls. Holding on together, hoping everybody survives, just like desperate housewives. Let's hear it for the cappuccino girls. You're looking good, you cappuccino girls. Thank you. This afternoon's production is brought to you by Dai Griff Productions. David Griffiths is currently in his third year at the University of Wales, Trinity St David. So this is his setup. And the idea is he's proving, proof of concept, that he can take this out anywhere. He can stream live, whether it's a band or whether it's a solo artist, and can reach the world. Well, we'll see how far we get this afternoon. If you're listening from around the world, why not leave a little message at the bottom here so we can tell David how far his stream has got. I am standing at the crossroads of this life that I've been given. I'm reflecting for a moment on the reasons why I'm living. I am 35 tomorrow, if the Bible needs believing. Then I'm halfway through the fighting, I'm halfway home to heaven. I am greeted every morning by a sea of children's faces with 1,000 different questions from a million different places. I am humbled by their confidence that seems to be unending as I stumble around eternal themes that should not need defending. But in my mind, I'm 17 years old. I am no more than a child, and I'm never growing old. And in my mind, I still believe in God, that the lion and the lamb shall one day be at peace. Still believe in us. I am standing at the crossroads of this life that I've been given. I'm reflecting for a moment on the reasons why I'm living. There are things I took for granted that I now cannot deliver. Well, it's times like these I realize I might not live forever. But in my mind, I'm 17 years old. I am no more than a child, and I'm never growing old. And in my mind, I still believe in God, that the lion and the lamb shall one day be at peace. Still believe in us. Over my career, I've had a lot of chances to go down to the deep south, to a place called Tupelo in Mississippi. I went there to make a TV program and then a radio program about about black gospel music and the similarities between that and the music that we had back home with chapels and mines and steelworks and tin works and all that. And what I realized was that when I went to Tupelo, I was the exotic one. It's hard to believe, I know. So while they were singing their songs about Memphis and Route 66, I would be singing songs about places like Mardi in the Rhondda. Now, Mardi in the Rhondda is an incredible place. In the 1930s, it was a hotbed of communism. To be honest, it probably still is. But the Mardi Workman's Hall was a place of learning, and people got together, and they made music, and they read books and papers, and so much so that Mardi got the reputation of being Little Moscow. So whilst people would listen to the home service in other parts of Wales, in Mardi they'd listen to Radio Moscow and Uncle Joe. And I was doing a gig there one Saturday night. Took my band up, Malpo and the Jacks, and it was a great night. I wasn't expecting it to be anything sort of out of the ordinary, I suppose, but when I got there was so much history in the room that we were playing in that it made me write this song. Even when you're raised in hell, you have a dream of heaven. 3 miles down, you see the stars in sunlight. Some men pray to God above, made temples to their maker. Others turned their radios to Uncle Joe. But in the dark, you cannot see the color of a soul. Fear makes all men brothers when you're working down a hole. They were dancing again in Little Moscow last night. We sang crying in the rain in Little Moscow last night. And we talked of the ways that this valley has changed, but it was good to see them dancing in Little Moscow. Armed with pick and shovels, well, they held governments to ransom. Standing close together gave them all a voice. But they closed the collieries one by one as they tried to smash the union. So now we all do what we're told, 'cause we have no choice. So is there any reason for this valley anymore? Should we cut our losses, close the windows and bar the door? They were dancing again in Little Moscow last night. We sang crying in the rain in Little Moscow last night. And we talked of the ways, oh, that this valley has changed, but it was good to see them dancing in Little Moscow. So we packed up the gear, got the van round, came down from the second floor, I think it was. And as we were waiting to load up the van, we bumped into a set of kids there. And there was one little girl. She must have been about 16 years old. She was heavily pregnant. We got chatting. And I was thinking to myself, my little girl's tucked up in bed back home, and we have so many dreams for her. I wonder what the dreams were in this valley. She says that she's going to have a baby 6 weeks Sunday, 7 days before her 16th birthday. As she sips her can of lemonade, talks of dreams she has for a son. I wonder what the future holds now the work's all gone. Standing on this mountain, you won't see any tears. Standing on this mountain, they're still looking at the stars. they were dancing again in Little Moscow last night. We sang crying in the rain in Little Moscow last night. And we talked of the ways, boy, that this valley has changed. But it was good to see them dancing in Little Moscow. Just gonna check on the time. Oh, half an hour. Still got a bit of time left then. No, it's strange, you know, it's for most of my life as a musician, trying to find this way, trying to find that way. I was discovered by John Peel when I was 13 years old, and so, having signed a record deal with Elton John's label about 6 weeks later, I peaked when I was 13. It's been downhill ever since. But, you know, it's weird. You're trying your best to work out, what am I? Am I a singer? Am I a songwriter? Am I a broadcaster? And one particular moment I thought, wouldn't it be easier if I'd just been born a tree? I am a man, I live in this world. I'm lucky to work, I do as I'm told. When someone says jump, then I say how high. I am a man with a will to survive. But does a tree ever ask, what kind of a tree am I? It does its best, growing straight, growing tall. And sometimes I wish that I was a tree. I am a man, pick myself off the floor. Well, if someone wants some, then I'm sure to want more. I know that given the chance, I know that I'd have it all. I am a man with a desire not to fall. But does a fish ever ask, what kind of a fish am I? It does its best, swimming fast, swimming free. And sometimes I wish that I was a tree. I have a child that I love with my life. Well, I want him a home, a good job, and a wife. I want him to be, the very best that he can be. I want him to grow into someone just like me. But does a child ever ask, Lord, what kind of a child am I? Or does he accept all of the things he might be? And sometimes I wish that I was a child. Sometimes I wish that I was a tree. Don't worry about the no applause thing. I'm used to that. Happened most of my career. What did I do? So some of these songs I do on a piano. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if I can remember them. What have I really got? I was doing a gig once in Swansea Prison, and I do tend to talk a lot in between songs. And I turned to the pastor who was running it all. I said, I'm really sorry, I'm rambling on here. How much time have I got? And the guy next to me said, don't worry. He said, I've got 6 months. I'm often asked who is the special person that I've interviewed. And I've interviewed a lot of people, presidents, people who've walked on the moon, Olympic gold medal winners. But my favorite interview of all time, and I've done an interview with him 3 times, was the Reverend Samuel Billy Kyles. He was a pastor from Memphis, and he was the man who invited Martin Luther King to Memphis in 1968 to support the garbage workers' strike. He told me this story many times about spending the afternoon with Dr. Martin Luther King in the Lorraine Motel. It was just like touching history. He told me this story, though, about the Lincoln Memorial. That if you look at the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, Dr. Martin Luther King is talking about economics. It's important, but he's starting to lose the crowd. And they're shuffling and they're losing interest. But a couple of weeks beforehand, he'd been doing a service in Philadelphia, and Mahalia Jackson had been with him at that service as well. And he started to preach. And he started telling people about the dream that he had. And apparently, at the Lincoln Memorial, with 250,000 people getting bored of Martin Luther King talking about economics, Mahalia Jackson said to him, "Tell him about the dream, Martin. Tell him about the dream." Hey, Reverend Samuel Billy Kyles was a preacher. I'm not going to think he didn't tell me the truth. Economics is always important. The numbers are important, but what people will always remember is the dream. I've been thinking lately, this is the wrong way to live life, hiding in the shadows, frightened by the chances, maybe someday I'll be laughed at by the ones who know. What's the point in living if walls can break and hold us? Do we sometimes get the chance to be free? So don't you be downhearted, 'cause we can make a difference if we just believe. I'm gonna dream out loud. I'm gonna try to say your love can conquer all. There's another way. I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna seize the day. I'm gonna turn around, walk against the crowd. I'm gonna dream out loud. It's funny how the moment can never seem right. To stand up, it's easier to let things go, just hoping that another will make the right moves, say the right words, and be the way you want to be. But who's the fool for risking that thing he cannot keep, to gain something that he never can lose? Don't you be downhearted, 'cause we can make a difference if we dare to choose. I'm gonna dream out loud. I'm gonna try to say your love can conquer all. Ooh, there's another way. I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna seize the day. I'm gonna turn around, walk against the crowd. I'm gonna dream out loud. The interesting thing about putting a show together where you go back to songs that you wrote a long time ago. The reason why I got signed by Elton John's record label and got a gig on the John Peel show when I was 12 years old was I was writing songs. I was writing them just up the road in Bryn Hyfryd. I borrowed my dad's tape recorder. In fact, I've got the letter here that changed my life. It's I'm not sure if you can zoom in on that place. What do you think? Do you want to look at that? There we are. Just get that little picture up. That's me and John Peel in 1973. The 10th of July, 1973. Disc jockey John Peel with 13-year-old schoolboy Maldron Pope making his first broadcast for the BBC. Well, I've done a few more since then. And there's a lovely letter from... Oh, there it is. This is the letter. Do you want to show it? See if we can get a bit closer. It's a bit dark and actually faded by now. But basically what it says is, Dear Maldron, John Peel has gone on holiday. He was impressed with your work. We'd like you to come to London to record for our radio programme. Could you ask your dad's permission so that we can actually ring up? And that's the letter that literally changed my life. But I was writing songs. It's strange looking at them now because it's almost like it's a different lifetime. This is the first single that I had out on Rocket Records, 1974. Oh, I don't know how to say goodbye. Don't know how to say I'm leaving. Don't know how to say in the morning I'll be leaving. Don't know how to say goodbye. Oh, when you whisper in my ear I love you, nothing around me matters, but I'm without you. Don't know how to say goodbye. But if only I'd waited a while for your kisses and love to grow. If only I'd known, if only I'd waited just a little while for your kisses and love to grow. If only I'd known, if only I'd known. Oh, I don't know how to say goodbye. I don't know how to say I'm leaving. I don't know how to say in the morning I'll be leaving. Don't know how to say in the morning I'll be leaving. Don't know how to say goodbye. I remember one wag on BBC Radio Wales played the record. He said, "Say goodbye." He's hardly had time to say hello yet. How are we doing for time? Oh, it's 20 to 4, British summertime here in Swan. Two more songs. Okay. Let me see if I can play this one. So we're in the middle of recording a new record for a thing called Calon Lan the Musical. I know it perfectly on the piano, but it's going to be exciting. It tells the story of a chap called Evan Roberts, a 26-year-old miner from Lacha, who told his family and friends that he'd met the Almighty in his bedroom in Lacha, Island House, overlooking the Lacha estuary, met him every night for 3 months, and been personally commissioned to lead a worldwide revival. Just think about that for a minute. He told his family and friends. I think they all thought he'd gone nuts. But 18 months later, the whole of Wales had been turned upside down. The Western Mail said that for that 18-month period, Evan Roberts had the whole of Wales in the palm of his hand. People came from all around the world. They came from Los Angeles, they came from Europe, and they took that revival fire that Evan had set alight in his bedroom in Lacha. Anyway, the musical's called Calon Lan. We open on the 28th of June. Hope to see you there, running through until the 6th of July. as we help celebrate Swansea's 50th birthday. This is the finale song from the show. I have walked this road since the world was new, since the light broke through and called my name. But as time goes by, no matter how I try, somehow it seems that life may always be the same. But there's a warm wind blowing across my heart tonight, and I'm riding its path. It's where I wanna be. My life is broken now. I have been poured out. Self-denial and doubt can fight no more. But I will still believe that I will soon receive everything that heaven's treasury has in store. 'Cause there's a warm wind blowing across my heart tonight, and I'm riding its path. It's where I wanna be. Yes, there's a warm wind, and I'm lost in its power, and it's taking me over. It's where I wanna be. I see faces in another crowd. They look so hard, they look so proud. But if you tell me that I must go, then I will go. 'Cause there's a warm wind blowing across my heart tonight, and I'm riding its path. It's where I wanna be. Yes, there's a warm wind, and I'm lost in its power, and it's taking me over. It's where I wanna be. This is a warm wind. It's the last song of the afternoon, and just before I do, let me just make sure I got that right. Digriff, come here. Digriff, come here. So, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, this is Digriff. He's the man making this work today, so if you want to book him, Digriff Productions, third year student, University Trinity St David. Find him on Facebook?
Yes.
What's the website?
www.digriffproductions.co.uk.
You reasonable? Or?
Reasonable?
Reasonable but never cheap. Reasonable but never cheap. Okay, Dig, last song of the night.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Right. As you probably guessed, I'm very pleased to be Welsh. I'm pleased to sing songs that come from my country and to play songs written by other people from my country. Now, I'm not sure who wrote this initially, but I loved this tune growing up as a kid. And when my little girl Daisy was a little baby and had trouble going to sleep, I took this tune and wrote a couple of extra words for her to turn it into her special lullaby. Well, today is April the 9th, 2019. Just checking. It's her birthday today, so if Daisy's listening out there, you should be working, concentrating. But this is for you. Happy birthday. Sleep, my love, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours creeping, hidden veil in slumber sleeping. Love alone, its watch is keeping all through the night. Sleep, my love, and peace be with you all through the night. God will wrap his arms around you all through the night. I still worry for the new day, hoping that you'll find the right way. Love alone will watch you always, all through the night, all through the night. Like a child, I fear the darkness. Come and let me feel forgiveness. Hold me close, give me sweet rest, all through the night, all through the night. Thank you very much for joining us for this live Facebook live stream. This has come to you from the reading room at the Alex Building, the University of Wales, Trinity St David. And if you've got a son or daughter who wants to get into music technology, well, what better place to come? From me and Di Griff, thank you very much. See you again.